Make It to Midnight is Rec Room's newest RRO, and it is performing very well. Everyone seems to enjoy this Dead by Daylight style game, but have you ever wondered what the actual best strategy is to win as either a survivor or as Bonky himself? Today I'll be giving you 17 tips you need to know to ensure you have the best odds of making it to midnight. Also, why is it called Make It to Midnight if you aren't making it to midnight? There is no timer-based system at all. There's nothing, no clock, like, there's nothing to do with midnight. What is this? Before we start, if you could consider checking if you're subscribed, it would mean the world to me. It's free and you can always unsubscribe later. Enjoy the video. The first 3 tips I'm going to give you are general tips. They are tips that you can use whether you're playing as Bonky or if you're playing as a survivor. The first tip is know your abilities. There are a wide selection of abilities in this game that can help you get an upper hand against whoever you're playing against. And you'll want to memorize and learn which ones you have available to you so that you can make the most out of what you have. Learning what these abilities do and finding clever ways to use them is going to give you an insane advantage over other players, so please use them wisely. Tip number 2 is learn your teammates. While you can learn abilities to understand what you can do, you can also understand what your teammates can do so that you can get an upper advantage. In case you haven't noticed, everyone has this level right above their name, and it's very annoying for recording this video, I'm not gonna lie, but it actually helps you a lot to understand your teammates. Since all of these abilities are unlocked at certain levels, you can understand how many abilities people have based off of their level and understand what to expect from them. So if you're Bonky and you're playing against a bunch of level 10s, you can probably expect most of them to not have many abilities. They'll only really have Tech Whiz and maybe Expert Medic and Get Hyped. So you won't really gotta worry about all this extra stuff. So that's why you should look at your opponent's levels, just so that you know what you're dealing with. The last general tip I can give you is memorize the map. The last thing you want to do is take a wrong turn when running from Bonky, get cornered, and die, so make sure you understand this map to its fullest. Not only will it allow you to not be cornered, it'll also allow you to easily lose Bonky if he is chasing you. And also it'll help you to not lose people if you are playing as Bonky. That's why it's a general tip. Understand this map's weaknesses and its strengths for the character that you're playing. The first survivor tip that I would give you is communication. Communicating with your team is, in my opinion, the most important tip you could know. Being able to know where Bonky is without putting yourself in danger is super important, so when your teammate tells you, hey, Bonky's near me, and you're across the map, take that as an advantage to go and repair a generator or save your teammate, because that might be the only open window that you'll get for a little while. Communicating with your team, in my opinion, is the most important tip to know, so please do use this. Second tip is learn when to hide. You don't really want to be hiding if you have full stamina and Bonky's across the map, but you also don't want to be not hiding if you have half of your stamina and Bonky's nearby. So understanding what your teammates are communicating to you and using that to figure out when to hide, or using the notifications of Bonky's abilities to know when to hide, is super important, so please do train this skill. Tip number 3 is don't breathe. I know that sounds a little bit weird, but you ever realize that it says don't breathe inside the porta potties when you have the door shut? That is because it is very important to do so. You don't want to alert Bonky to your location if you are in one of those porta potties, because you are hiding. You need to stay there and stay safe. So that being said, make sure that you aren't saying a word when you're in the porta potty, or even turn your mic off if you have to. If you have a fan or something going on in the background, that could give away your position, so keep that in mind when you're hiding from Bonky. Tip number 4 is the first bonk speed boost. Anytime that you get bonked by Bonky and it isn't the time that you get caged, you have the chance to run because it gives you a speed boost and a stamina boost. So you can get over walls, you can zigzag through corridors, and you can easily escape Bonky, but you have to use it quickly. You only get like 5 seconds and then it wears out. That actually brings me into my 5th tip, which is climb over objects. By this I mean objects that are roughly the height of your waist, and this is because Bonky can't really jump unless if he has the jump perk. That being said, you need to be level 32 to have the jump perk, so not many people are going to have it. And even when they do have it, they can only use it once, and then they can't use it again until it recharges. So if you jump over one of these, he jumps over to get to you, and then you jump over another one, he can't follow you. Keep in mind though that clambering, which is climbing over objects like this, costs 40% of your stamina. So what I would actually suggest is just jump over it without clambering, which can be done by approaching the object, turning around, and jumping backwards. That way you don't do the climb animation and you conserve your stamina. Tip number 6 is spread out. I know you've heard it a million times in the horror movies. Why do people split up? That's how you all die. Well, in this game, it's kind of important. Being able to spread out makes you get more information onto where Bonky is, because if one person is near him and the other 2 people are far away, they can get to work while this one person distracts. Does that make sense? This game is an information game when you're a survivor, so you have to be spread out so you get the most information possible. Don't have 3 people sitting on the same generator waiting for Bonky to show up and kick you all off of it. Tip number 7 is you play as a Discord mod. Wait, no, I read that wrong. Sorry, 1 second. Let me, ration your stamina. For some odd reason, the characters in this game run out of stamina almost immediately, so do not use it if you don't have to. Walk around normally until you see Bonky. When you see Bonky, that's when you run, okay? Don't use it if you don't have to. And this goes for clambering over objects. Do not clamber an object if you don't have to. If you're not running from Bonky and you want to get over an object, jump over it normally. Don't clamber it, because it'll cost you 40 stamina points, and it is ridiculous how expensive that is. Now that we've gone over the survivor tips, let's go over the tips that I have for you playing Bonky. Tip number 1 is chase, chase, chase. When you're Bonky, the first thing on your mind is getting your first person eliminated. And so what you might do is just find someone, bonk them, and because of the speed boost, they run further away. Now, what you might be tempted to do is if you see someone else, you'll switch and go after them, but do not do that. That gives the other person time to run away and get healed by their teammates. You have to chase that one person down no matter what. If you lose them, oh well, try again. But your first goal has to be focusing one person. And people are going to hate you for it, but it's going to give you an advantage, trust me. Tip number 2 is use your abilities wisely. You only get one ability, and it usually takes a while to recharge, so you want to ration this ability to use it when you know it'll give you a really good advantage. Depending on the ability, it could locate some survivors and give you their location, and if that's the case, then yeah, use that as much as you can. But if it's an ability that is specifically good for when you're chasing someone, then don't use it if you're not chasing someone. Make sure that you only use your abilities when it gives you a good advantage. Tip number 3 is listen for breathing. When you're chasing someone down and you don't know where they went, they probably jumped into a porta potty somewhere, or they jumped into a hiding spot. Listen for their mic and you might be able to hear them if they're not smart. Bonky tip number 4 is you can bonk through walls. If you see someone's butt poking out of a corner and they don't know that you're behind them, you can hit them. It doesn't stop you from hitting them. You can still hit them even though they are on the other side of the wall. For example, if someone was hiding in this corner and you could see them on the other side over here, you can hit them here. You don't got to give away your position. They don't know that you see them. Bonky tip number 5 is that the generator lights will act as info. Now I can't show you that right now because I'm not able to start the game in a private because I'm alone, but I'll give you some footage to show you what I'm talking about. Basically, when someone hops onto a generator that hasn't been started yet, Bonky will see the lights of the generator above it turn on. You can use this to know when someone's at a generator, but generally the lights stay on after they've already been turned on, so if they hop on the generator when it's at 0%, turn the lights on and then leave, it'll probably just stay on for the rest of the game, I think. I might be wrong about that. Correct me in the comments if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's how it works. But yeah, early game, use the generator lights as much as you can because it'll tell you where they are. Tip number 6 is turn your sound up. Now what I'm talking about is the actual sound tab here. You want to put that tab up as much as you can, and I will explain why. In this game, in case you haven't noticed, there's very loud footsteps. This will give you locations of the survivors very easily. If you just stop and listen for a second, you might be able to hear where they are. And that's why you want to have your sound as high as you possibly can, because the stomping is really loud. And you might end up missing it, so make sure to keep your ears open for that. The final tip that I would give you as Bonky is camp the generators. Especially in the late game, this is super useful. What you can usually do in the late game is you will have a speed boost, so you can easily run from generator to generator. So just camp the generators, keep going in a triangle, and they will not be able to win. Remember that the survivor's goal is to escape you. There is no time limit, there is nothing wrong with postponing the match as long as you can. So if they want to avoid the generators, you can just keep circling, it doesn't matter. If they want to open this door, they have to turn on those generators, so just camp them and you will probably win. With this, you want to make sure that you keep an eye out for how much percentage each one goes up by, because that'll tell you if someone was nearby. So if you check a generator, it was at 20%, and then you leave and come back not very long after, and it's at 60%, then something's definitely up. Someone's probably in a nearby porta potty hiding because they seen you come by. But that's it for this video. If you enjoyed, click the like button, and let me know in the comments if you have any other tips that I might have missed. If I like it enough, I might pin your comment. Click here to subscribe, click over here to watch how I broke Make It to Midnight in less than 24 hours, and click down there to see a video that YouTube thinks you'll enjoy. Have a great day, everyone. Bye.